Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is the talk. Here are today's topics. Breaking down the Moff Gideon kit the way we usually do, stripping out all the information. Going over the developer insights. There's a couple pieces of information there I think are worth highlighting. Going over Grand Arena Season 13, the theme, and some of the feats. And then finishing up, as we always do, with the free-to-play gearing of my roster. Here's a breakdown of Moff Gideon's kit, stripped down to the core information. We try to strip away all the extraneous information that CG gives us. We've done this with the last several character releases. We have a basic disruptive shot that is an attack, and you gain 1 stack of insight. 4 stacks equals a granted ability. This is working like contracts with the contract abilities that Mando and Embo have. Similar concept. The granted ability, Subversive Volley, is an AoE attack, inflicts daze. If the enemy has a leader tag, the daze is unresistible. First special, Darksaber Lunge, attack plus inflict armor shred. Second special is these first Zeta ability, control the situation. It's a mass assist with troopers. All units lose turn meter. Then allies will gain a 25% turn meter back. And then if you have a tank, they will taunt, attackers will gain offense, and support allies will gain 100% protection up. I didn't put all the information in with the leader Zeta tactical deployment, but the main portion of it is if the squad consists of 1 take, 2 attackers, and 2 support, and one of those support characters will be Moff Gideon, then you gain stats of health and protection. If they are all troopers, you gain a bunch of additional information, but we ran out of room on screen, and that is stacking offense for the troopers. If the enemy has a leader tag, Moff Gideon will gain insight. And then trooper allies, they will revive the first time they are defeated with extra stats. And the final is the unique Know Your Adversaries. Moff Gideon, first turn, he will inflict Demoralize, which is unresistible, can't be dispelled, and that will exist until Moff Gideon is defeated or until the end of the round. And Demoralize is a reduction of your enemy's stats. So very quickly, a few extra things I want to highlight in this kit. First, the synergies. Usually these CG synergies can be taken with a huge grain of salt. This time though, like these attackers, really there's no other attackers that are going to be as good as Snow and Death Trooper. Shore Trooper's the obvious tank. The support slot is the toughest one when you're deciding between Piet, Veers, and range. I think there's a argument to be made with range and Veers because it comes down to his basic and insight. So with this basic, the more you are using it, the faster you are accumulating those stacks of insight, and the faster that you get to move on to using Subversive Volley. So with Range Trooper and with Veers, you can be using this special ability more and more often. Now, with Subversive Volley, with this daze that can't be resisted, that's going to be interesting because that means a lot of characters with Tenacity up are no longer going to be able to resist it. It means that like Bastila is not going to stop it from happening. It means characters like Grandmaster Yoda, who gets a lot of extra turn meter from doing assists, is not going to be getting those extra turns as much because he's not getting that turn meter. So there are going to be a lot of interesting things that Grand Moff Gideon is going to be allowing the troopers to do because of that, and it's going to be very interesting to test that out. Now, this next one, Darksaber Lunge, we're going to talk about this more in a second when we transition over to developer insights, because in those insights, they made a very interesting comment. The second special, Control the Situation. This is straightforward. What's nice here is with how they have the tank allies taunt for 2 turns. Attackers gain offense, support allies gain protection up. That means there's a small amount of plug and play viability to Moff Gideon. There could be some interesting things that interesting teams that he could be slotted into. Although the other stats, especially from the leadership, that are given to Imperial troopers is going to make it very difficult to pry him away. Although troopers are very strong just with Piet and Veers, so it might be worth pulling Moff Gideon away once some time goes through and we figure out what are these other teams that Moff Gideon could make viable. Now this Zeta on the special will work with both light side and dark side, but the leadership is dark side only, where you can slot him in with other dark side characters, with dark side tanks, attackers, and support characters, but with the leadership, it doesn't just have to be troopers to gain a little bit of benefit from the leadership Zeta, but the troopers gain all these extra elements here, which really is going to, again, make it difficult to pull Gideon away from troopers. And then I really like this last part here with the unique and know your adversaries, where we're starting to get an ability that is doing similar things that Moff Gideon's doing with like his leadership, giving all these extra stats around, but you have these characters like 3 Baka and Queel who are also giving stats to allies. Now we have a character pulling stats away from enemies. Now with the developer insights, really there's one thing I really wanted to highlight here. Is a very interesting point they make here in strategy tips. They have this here. Why isn't that highlighted? Only use the Darksaber if you will get that 4th insight stack through an opponent's attack, or you really need the armor shred. There is nothing within the kit or within the description of the Darksaber lunge that is suggesting to me that it should be used in the way that they are saying. So that means something is going on within the kit and the character that we need to test out to see why you would want to only use the Darksaber in this conditional situation. So that is what I want to highlight. That's something I'm going to be paying attention to once the character is unlocked. And then the other thing that, as I read through this, I don't think there's too much defensive viability that is really hinted at here with troopers. Moff Gideon sounds like the AI is not going to play him correctly, so I'm still expecting troopers to be a very offensive-oriented team. So I'm very happy that we're going to be able to unlock and gear up Grand Moff Gideon a little bit before Grand Arena 13 starts. I'm definitely putting those Zetas on beforehand and giving him a shot in the Grand Arena. This season, there's not too much to go through in depth. It's going to be fairly straightforward, but inflict target lock 50 times, that's really just Grievous, IG-88, IPD, and then this next one here, offense up 50 times. This is going to be super straightforward. There's a ton of characters who spread AoE offense up, and you got Piet, BB-8, Bosk, Palpatine, Veers, Yoda, Grief Karga, Jedi Knight Anakin, Poggle. So that should be super straightforward to do. I think some of the characters that are going to be used very often throughout this Grand Arena is going to be 3PO and Chewie, C-3PO, R2-D2, BB-8. They're going to, and HK-47. They're going to be doing the bulk of the work, other than these conditional ones here that you have to use whoever they require. We will be gearing up Grand Moff Gideon before the start of the Grand Arena, and there probably won't be another one of these videos before then. But what I can document is here, Piet is definitely going up at least 1 level to gear 10. And I haven't reviewed yet if I want to go up another level. It looks like I'm leaving him at gear 10 for now. The other character I had intended to do, Queel's moving up, he just needs a stun gun. And IG11, I'm also bringing up one more level. What is going on with how slow this is? I may leave them at gear 10 until whatever happens with a legendary or journey or whatever release, whatever's coming Mando related, just so I can see if there's something lowish viable teams wise I can put together if these characters are required. I suspect gear 11, 12, or relics are going to be required. I doubt anything with gear 10, but I might want to keep the flexibility handy. So that is all the gearing I'm going to do, but actually I am going to put these Zetas on Queel and on IG11. And as you can see, I have a lot of Zetas saved up, and I'm going to be able to put the Zetas on to Moff Gideon without falling below 200. What is going on? We're calling it there for this week. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be trying to get Moff Gideon on the new account as well. It's going to be tight. I'm at level 44. I don't think he's going to get to the minimum level 60 before the end of the marquee event. At a minimum, we will be hoarding crystals and getting him via shipments or slots. But be safe out there, everyone. This has been Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes, and be excellent to each other.